Thank you. Good morning. So I didn't just have an extraordinarily large breakfast. I'm actually 8.5 months pregnant. And during the next 15 minutes, I will get so fired up about this idea that it wouldn't be that big of a surprise for my water to break on stage. So, just a warning, right? But what I'm going to talk to you about today is even more epic than that. What I'm going to talk to you about is an idea that is changing the world. So I want you to remember this number, 1 in 4. 1 in 4 children in West Michigan, every single day, struggle about where they will find their next meal. 1 in 4 children right in our backyards live in homes where there is simply not enough food for their brains to develop correctly. This hunger is epidemic in our country. Kids Food Basket is working each and every day to change that statistic. And because of this idea, an idea that's changing the future of West Michigan, each and every day, there are 4,840 children that don't go to bed hungry. 4,840 children that don't worry about where their next meal will come. And 4,840 children that depend on us to eat dinner that night. Think about that number. That's if each of you here today didn't have food at home, wouldn't have dinner, and we gave you a sack dinner to take home. And then we filled up the Knickerbocker 9 times over. That's how many children each and every day depend on Kids Food Basket for dinner. So today, I'm going to talk about the 4 elements that make up Kids Food Basket. First, I'll tell you about why Kids Food Basket exists, the perseverance that it took to make this dream happen, and why it is so critical that we're here. Second, I want to tell you about the incredible magic that happens at Kids Food Basket. The kind of magic that comes from over 175 volunteers walking through the door each day, just to ensure that kids are fed. I'm going to tell you why Kids Food Basket has been successful in engaging the West Michigan community and how we make it easy for others to do more good. Third, I'll share with you the impact that KFB has made over the past 10 years and the impact that we'll make in the future. Where are we going and why does it matter? And most importantly, I want each of you to take something away from this. There are unmet needs in our communities, but we have the power to understand those needs, commit to them, and make a difference. We have the power to do more good. Fourth, I'll tell you what's next for Kids Food Basket. So let me start with some brief history and context. I was about 22 years old when I was presented with a new startup organization, or an idea called Kids Food Basket. And I was studying at Aquinas College, the community leadership degree. At the time, I truly had no idea of the scope of childhood hunger in West Michigan, or the problem that we were even up against. Now, years later, I stand before you as the executive director of KFB. And as we refer to it, KFB, it's a grassroots nonprofit organization that is attacking childhood hunger in West Michigan. KFB started about 10 years ago when a principal at a school on the west side of Grand Rapids was leaving one day and saw a group of her students literally digging through trash cans, digging through trash. And she approached them and asked them what they were doing. And these small children, maybe 4 or 5, told her that they were looking for something to eat for dinner. They were looking for food. One child told her that he was looking for something to take home to his younger sister who he watched after school. And of course, she was devastated. Any of us would be devastated. And she called other teachers and principals and found that she wasn't alone. There were hunger issues in schools all across West Michigan. We know that children who are hungry cannot learn. Children who are undernourished will not have proper brain development. Now, we hear about the devastating effects that the economy has had on our state and in our city and in our country. But there's one number that isn't talked about. One thing that we don't read in headlines. 13 million children in this country are food insecure. 13 million children don't know when their next meal will come. Childhood hunger is a social justice issue. We all have the basic right to food. We have the right to proper brain development. And that's why I'm so passionate about Kids Food Basket and this cause. That's why our Kids Food Basket staff, our volunteers, and our champions will continue to work tirelessly until childhood hunger is no longer something that's in our backyards, until the day children don't have to worry about where their next meal will come. When Kids Food Basket started about 10 years ago, we were serving approximately 125 kids a day. We had, gosh, $3,000 in the bank, but we had a ton of passion. And as time went on, we were feeding 350 children, and then 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. In March of 2012, we're feeding 4,840 children per day. But it wasn't always this big. We did not always have this kind of support. There were so many years, so many weeks that we struggled just to keep the doors open, just to be able to serve meals the next day. We went a year or two without heat, a year or two without medical benefits, and truly, weeks where we worked 80+ hours a week without compensation. But what we did have was a huge need, an immense and unmet need. The overwhelming need for meals for kids has always been bigger than our current resources. But with commitment, a lot of ingenuity, and a ton of perseverance, we rock that thing every day. Thank you. Yeah, right? Cool. So second, what I'm asked most often perhaps is how. How do you guys do this? How do you do 4,840 meals a day? So I'm going to show you a quick video that talks about how we do that.
For many kids in our community, this bag means lunch doesn't have to be the last meal of the day. It gets its life at Kids Food Basket with the support of people like you. People who hold juice box and snack drives, people who decorate brown paper bags, organizations like Feeding America, which provide food at discounted rates, farmers who provide fresh, local produce, and more than 175 volunteers each weekday who bring all the pieces together to create a well-rounded 1,000-calorie evening meal for more than 4,500 kids, and then deliver these meals to 30 schools and summer sites throughout Grand Rapids. Powered by the love and support of our community, this Sack Supper also gets its life from teachers who distribute the meals in their classrooms at the end of the day. More than 33,000 kids in Kent County are living in poverty. Too many kids wonder where their next meal will come from and lack the essential nutrition needed to be successful. When paired with breakfast and lunch provided at school, Sack Suppers provide enough calories and food groups to meet each child's daily nutritional requirements, making every Sack Supper an important victory in the attack on childhood hunger.
Now here's the magic what I spoke of earlier, how we feed all of these kids every day. Our volunteers. What's been absolutely critical to the success of Kids Food Basket has been our volunteers. This organization is unique in many ways, but one of those ways is the extraordinary number and diversity of our volunteers. Every day starting at 9 a.m. and ending at 9 p.m., volunteers from all walks of life, ages 5 through 95, come to Kids Food Basket to make sandwiches, decorate bags, pick up food donations from the food bank, deliver food around the city, and deliver Sack Suppers where they are placed in the hands of a child that depends on this for an evening meal. Simply put, if it wasn't for our Kids Food Basket volunteers, these meals would not get made or delivered. So third, are we making an impact? Are we making a difference? Yep, Kids Food Basket is changing lives. I heard a story of a little girl that now receives sack dinners, but she hadn't in the past. And her teacher told me a story about how one day she saw her in the cafeteria, and this little girl was stuffing her pockets full of ketchup packets. And the teacher approached her and she said, you know, what's going on? Why do you need so much ketchup? And this little girl told her, I hope it's okay. When I get enough, me and my grandma make tomato soup. Over the past 10 years, we have made true and substantial impact. We have teachers that tell us their children no longer come in the morning shaking and sick from hunger pains. We have kids that trust these evening meals will come, and they count on them every day, but not just as food, as a special gift. A gift of good food, fruit, veggies, yogurt, things that they otherwise wouldn't get. The kids that we serve sometimes receive breakfast at school, but are all receiving lunch through the federally funded school food program. Now, these two meals together are approximately 1,000 calories, but every child under the age of 12 needs 2,000 calories for their brains and bodies to develop correctly. If kids are only eating at school, they're being deprived of an extra 1,000 calories that they need in order for that proper brain development. The effects of undernutrition on the brain are totally irreparable after age 12. Nutrition is the basis of brain development. The kids we serve today will lead our communities tomorrow. KFB provides them with an important tool, a nutritious meal, to ensure that they become healthy, self-sufficient adults. Now, there are a variety of socioeconomic factors that put kids in the situations where they need these meals. But one thing we know for sure, the bottom line is kids simply need to get fed every day. Another one of the little girls we serve, her name is Maya. She got her sack supper for the first time when her school was taken off the waiting list. The very first time she received her sack supper, she came to school the next day with half of everything. She had half a granola bar, half a bag of carrots, half a juice box. And her teacher said to her, "Maya, honey, what's wrong? Don't you like your food? Why did you bring it back?" And she looked at her teacher and she said, "Well, I need dinner tonight. Otherwise, I'd be hungry. I need to make it last." In more places than we'd like to admit, Maya is not the exception. She is the typical child. You and I both know that this country faces a very real and a very serious hunger crisis. But it's not because of a lack of food. It's because of a lack of access to food. Organizations like Kids Food Basket provide that access to food. We are successful initiatives that provide that access. We are successful because we have simply figured out a way to have a direct service to a direct need. It makes a real and significant impact. A nonprofit organization has got to make community engagement easy. It's our vehicle to a community of volunteers and over 7,500% growth in the past 10 years. We know, you and I know, that people truly want to help others. In fact, I know that many of us have an innate need to want to change the world, a desire to help those less fortunate than ourselves, a calling and a conviction to do more good. But many of us just simply don't know how to do it. At Kids Food Basket, we've found a way to change the world. We provide a tangible opportunity for thousands of people to do something so important, feed hungry children. And we do it in a way that's inclusive of volunteers of all walks of life, all vocations, all ages. We provide an engine for volunteering, an opportunity to make the world brighter for thousands of kids. And that engine is how we serve 4,840 meals a day. So no matter how many lives we touch, we have to work harder and do more if we are going to reach every child in West Michigan that's facing hunger. Finally, so what's next? We have goals and we have dreams. We still have another 10 schools on our waiting list. Each one of these schools has well over 80% of its students living at or the poverty level. These are children who are in desperate need of our services. And when and if we have the support to grow, we celebrate every time we're able to take one of those schools off our list. Also, at Kids Food Basket, we are exploring ways to carry out our mission, our message, and our model to other areas of the state. And we'll soon be announcing pilot projects happening here in West Michigan. One important lesson that this journey has taught me: we deliver more than food. We deliver love. We deliver consistency. We deliver nutrition for the mind, the body, and the soul. Each of you, each of us, has the immense capacity to impact change now through our communities today. We must realize our passions and then commit. Commit to the cause, commit to bring about change, and commit to your higher purpose. And this is what we do daily to create such an important thing. There's nothing easy or simple about childhood hunger. But through this issue, we have learned that no problem is bigger than community. And working together is how we solve society's most pressing problems. Anyone can make a positive difference because anyone can serve. I'd like to close by sharing a final story. One of our volunteers, his name is Tom, and each and every Tuesday, Tom delivers meals to a school on the west side of Grand Rapids. And this one Tuesday in particular, a group of students came with Tom to help him unload his van and deliver the meals and bring them to the front office of their school. And this one day, Tom had finished delivering, and this little guy started following Tom back to his van. And Tom stopped, and he looked at him, and he said, "Hey, buddy, what's going on? Can I help you?" And this little guy looks up at Tom, and he says, "Mister, are you the people that make our dinner every day? Are you the people that give me this sack? Are you them?" And Tom looks at him, and he said, "Well, yeah, buddy, yeah. I'm a group of the people that make sure every single day you get this sack dinner. Yeah, that's me." So this little guy took a minute to let that sink in. And he wraps his arms around Tom's waist, and he says, "Thanks. I always wondered what you looked like." So Tom realized his power to do more good, and so can you. Thank you.